like to take introductions of the guests. We have two guests around here. Yeah, please. Can you introduce yourself? Yeah, one by one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there, from there.
Okay, good evening fellow Toastmasters. My name is MAH00737 and I'm a 4th year computer science student from TESIT, Vanashankari, and my hobbies are to dance and go to gym and just stay fit. And I want to be a Toastmaster soon in future to improve my communication skills and of course my leadership skills.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening one and all. My name is Raju. I'm doing my PhD in Indian Institute of Science, doing PhD in structural engineering, and I'm here just to improve my communication skills, and that's why I'm here. And I'm impressed. So thank you for this wonderful session.
She's doing PhD from Tata Institute. What an honor. We are honored to have you here. Okay, fellow Toastmasters, the theme today is empathy. Most of the people, you get confused between empathy and sympathy, but these two are entirely two different things. Sympathy is when you feel bad for someone in trouble, a poor person or an injured person or a sick person, ayyo papa, that's all. That's sympathy. But empathy, what is empathy? Empathy is trying to understand a person's situation, walk in his shoes. That is called empathy. Most of the time, I have seen people bargaining with auto rickshaw drivers only for 10 rupees. Whereas the same man doesn't mind giving 50 rupees tip to a waiter in a hotel. See, this man, he is working day in, day out just to meet his ends, just to get a 1 or 2 square meal a day. He is honest, he is working with his sweat and blood. If you give some 10 rupees extra to him, you are not losing anything, but that means a lot to that poor auto rickshaw driver or a vegetable seller. You bargain 8 rupees tomato for 6 rupees. But when you go to a jewelry shop, you don't mind paying some 10-20,000 extra for the jewelry of your choice. So this is understanding a person's point of view. If someone misbehaves with you, this is what generally happens with us. We try to retort back. That is why all these road rages we have every day. But we have to understand, he is a man who has come up from that type of society. He has been brought up from a society. His surroundings, his childhood might have been spent in a place where one has to be very violent, or he has to be very assertive, or has to be very protective about himself. So you try to understand that man, that auto rickshaw driver, or that street urchin who is trying to roughen you up, or who is trying to be impolite with you. Try to understand him. Okay, you say, okay, sorry sir, I was wrong. You are not losing anything, and that is called empathy. Try to understand things from the other person's point of view. Then there will be no conflict at all. Now this lad from Hyderabad, his father is an IAS officer having very strong Marxist leanings. Mother is a Sanskrit scholar, a Sanskrit teacher. He tried for IIT, but he failed getting a seat in IIT. Then he did his engineering from Manipal Institute of Technology. Later on, as everyone else of that time would do, he migrated to do his masters to the US in 1988. Okay. In 1992, he applied for a job in Microsoft. The person interviewing him asked a general question after the technical interview was over. He asked him a simple question. The interviewer, whose name is Richard Tate, he asked one question to this candidate. What will you do if you see a small child weeping and crying on the road? And this person, okay, I'll break the suspense, is Satya Nadella. He replied, I'll call 911. Richard came and put his arm on his shoulder and told, my young man, you need to have some empathy. Lift the child up in your arms. And that made so much of impression on his mind that after joining the Microsoft Corporation, he started climbing stair after stair. Ultimately, in 2014, he became the CEO of the company. He took over as CEO of the company when the company was in very bad shape. It was very weak. It had a very strong competition from Google, from mobile phones, from Apple, and the company was on the downtrend. He took over as CEO, and after taking over as CEO, he made empathy as a company policy. The results are there to see. Within no time, the company, which was on the verge of collapse, doubled its turnover, and now its turnover starts at is at about $600 billion a year. The profits have increased, and they are more into cloud computing and many other things like artificial intelligence and all those things. Empathy. And to add, he has a son, Zain, who is having cerebral palsy. And out of two of his daughters, one daughter is a person with a special need. Seeing the success of Microsoft, most of other companies have been adopting humanity as a policy, honesty as a policy, integrity as a policy. You may feel these are new things. They are not new things. Especially for we Indians. Way back in the beginning of 20th century, the Maharajas of the princely state of Mysore had this policy. Before appointing people to very high posts like Diwan or ADC, they would do a complete background study of the candidate, his characters, his background, his family, his brought up and everything. So what we have come to know, or what the world has come to know now, is something we Indians knew long back. And this is something we have to be proud of. See, we think that integrity and empathy as a company policy brings in results. And our Maharajas and our Nawabs and our kings knew this hundreds of years back. They adopted this as an administrative policy to have the people with the right integrity, with the right character to the sensitive posts. Now, without much ado, let us go ahead with the meeting. Today, the meeting will be handled by the Toastmaster of the day. He will explain you what he will be doing around here. And this person I know for the last three years, if I am right. He is a finalist, having a very good magnetic voice. And he is finalist in table topics and humorous speech many a times. And once he comes, he knows how to keep the audience attracted to him. With a thunderous round of applause, let me help me welcome Toastmaster Chandramouli to the stage.